In 1965, a young boy named Morris crawled into a narrow crevice in the ground and found himself trapped. This terrifying situation repeated itself 44 years later with medical student John Jones, who became stuck in a tight passage leading nowhere. Both of these accidents shared the same cause. The men had made the critical mistake of crawling headfirst into the unknown. But what if exploring underground spaces by crawling in feet first could prevent such tragedies? This is the tragic story about Neil Moss. Today we tell the gripping story of Neil Moss, a 20-year-old man who decided to descend into a dark, suffocating shaft feet first. Unfortunately, the outcome was not what anyone had expected. Neil's journey quickly took a dangerous turn as he became wedged in an unfamiliar, treacherous tunnel. Rescue teams battled against the oppressive darkness and thick mud for hours, and the story became a tragic reminder of the risks hidden beneath the Earth's surface. On Sunday, March 22, 1959, a group of 8 cavers set off on an ambitious expedition into Peak Cavern, a famous cave system in Derbyshire, England. Among them was Neil Moss, a 20-year-old philosophy student from Oxford University, known for his passion for caving and exploration. He was part of a team from the British Speleological Association, excited to explore a little-known section of the cave. Their goal was to venture half a mile beyond the cave entrance and investigate a fissure that had been discovered 2 weeks earlier. Getting into the cave was no easy feat. The cavers descended about 300 meters underground, navigating a labyrinth of hidden tunnels and chambers. The first section of the cave they encountered was the Mucky Duck, a narrow, water-filled passage that was especially challenging after rainfall. After a while, they reached the Boulder Passage, a somewhat easier section, although still requiring them to crawl over irregular rock formations. About 150 meters into the passage, they reached a climb up a 3-meter-high wall. On the other side was the Pickering Passage, a narrow crawl that required them to kneel and wiggle through the tight spaces. The passage led to a thigh-deep pool, and beyond it lay a beautiful chamber known as the Stalagmite Chamber. Neil had heard of this chamber and the mysterious tight shaft that led further into the cave. His curiosity grew as he imagined what lay ahead. The team was determined to explore it. It took more than an hour of strenuous crawling, climbing, and squeezing through tight passages to reach their destination. Finally, they stood in the magnificent stalagmite chamber, marveling at the beauty around them despite their fatigue. After resting for a moment, the group turned their attention to the fissure they had come to explore. The entrance to the fissure was large enough for an average person to crawl through, about 1 meter wide. Neil couldn't resist the temptation to explore what lay beyond. No one had ever ventured all the way down the shaft, but it was believed to be about 12 meters deep. The shaft was slightly tilted for the first 4 meters, then twisted into a corkscrew shape. It was followed by a long, steep incline and a final vertical drop of about 5 meters. At around 3:30 p.m., the group lowered a flexible-sided ladder that was designed for reaching hard-to-reach places. Moss, eager to explore the unknown, began his descent. Because the fissure was so narrow, he wasn't secured with a rope, assuming it wouldn't be necessary. As he descended, he encountered a narrow, claustrophobic corkscrew twist. Despite the challenges, Neil managed to wriggle through, feeling a sense of accomplishment. However, he was unaware of what would come next. Throughout his descent, Moss communicated with his team, reassuring them that everything was going as planned. After successfully navigating the corkscrew twist, he continued down into the remainder of the shaft. But as he went lower, he began to feel some irregularities in his footing. At first, he may have believed he could simply maneuver around them as he had done before, but soon he realized that a large boulder had become lodged in his path, blocking further descent. He attempted to move the boulder, but it was too big to shift in such a confined space. After several failed attempts, Moss decided to climb back up the shaft. Unfortunately, Moss found that he could not lift his legs high enough to climb the ladder back to safety. He was stuck in an elliptical crevice just 45 centimeters wide. In this vulnerable position, he called for help. His team tried to pull him upward by tugging on the ladder, but the ladder became jammed between the rocks and his body. Neil's situation was growing desperate. At first, his companions thought the rescue would be a simple matter of lowering more ropes and pulling him to safety. But as time passed, it became clear this would not be an easy task. A light hand line was lowered to help him, but every attempt to pull him up failed. The ropes kept snapping or tearing on the sharp rock edges. This likely caused Moss to panic, and as he tried to climb, he became even more wedged in the narrow passage, unable to move in any direction. Soon, the seriousness of the situation became evident. Volunteers from all over England rushed to the site to help, including the police, the military, and even the Royal Air Force. A sense of urgency filled the air as more people arrived to assist in the rescue. However, the air inside the shaft had become polluted by Moss's breath, which was cutting off the oxygen supply. As the hours went on, Moss's disorientation grew. His behavior became more erratic, and he started acting less cooperative. He even suggested that others leave to grab a meal. The lower part of the shaft was sealed with loose rocks, not concrete as was often reported. The once beautiful chamber where Neil had been trapped became his final resting place. The tragic story of Neil Moss captured global attention. To honor him, the chamber where he was trapped was named Moss Chamber. Neil Moss's courage and the disastrous outcome of his exploration remain a poignant reminder of the dangers of cave exploration and the importance of careful preparation. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more gripping tales from the underwater world. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What would you do in a situation like this? Until next time, stay safe, explore wisely, and always respect the depths.